Hi folks, I'm Nathan with the ebookreader.com. For this video, I'm going to give you guys a review of the Fire HD8 tablet. It's among the latest lineup of new tablets from Amazon, along with the $49 Fire tablet and the 10-inch version of this model. So the Fire HD8 and the Fire HD10 are virtually identical. There's just a size difference with the screen. So let's go ahead and talk about the hardware first. It's an 8-inch tablet, of course. It's got the 1280 by 800 resolution screen. Does have really strong viewing angles. So I was quite impressed with this tablet when I first opened it because I was surprised by how thin and light it is. It really is about the thickness of a pencil, and it's also very light, so it's definitely a nicer tablet than I was expecting. Amazon usually has budget tablets, and this one's actually quite nice. It's got a really nice rigid feel to it. It feels very solid. It basically just feels like you're holding a chunk of glass. The back, it's got this really shiny material to it. We've got the camera up here in the top corner. There's a micro SD card slot right there for cards up to 128 gigabytes, and then everything's located on the top edge as far as the power button, the volume buttons, the USB port, mic, and the headphone jack. So that's just sort of a look at the hardware. Like I said, it's definitely a lot different than the older Fire tablets. It's got like more of a premium feel to it, a lot thinner, a lot lighter. I am impressed with the overall hardware of this model. So for the most part, I'm impressed with the screen. It does have really nice viewing angles. Colors are nice and bright, but it does have the lower resolution than some of Amazon's tablets and some of the other tablets on the market right now. It only has the 1280 by 800 screen, so that's 189 pixels per inch. So I mean, it's not too bad. The screen actually looks quite nice. It kind of reminds me of Samsung's tablets. They got good viewing angles and good color, but the resolution is kind of lower, like on the Galaxy Tab 4 line. This one kind of reminds me of those. So I mean, it looks fine. For the most part, text does. If you're reading with text this size, if you're using smaller text, you're going to get more pixelization, and you're going to be able to, the text is just going to look kind of fuzzy when you use smaller font sizes. But when you're using the anything like above this level, it looks pretty good. So one of the main differences with this year's lineup of Fire tablets is this new Fire OS 5 operating system. Amazon used to have everything laid out with the carousel on their Fire tablets, so I really do like this new layout. So this is like the whole way the home screen lays out now. This is the main home screen. What it is essentially your app drawer. Every app you get installed on your device gets listed here. You can view your other apps from Amazon by hitting the library. So everything has this same sort of layout here on the home screen, where you have your content shown like this, and you can scroll down for more. And then if we go over here for the books, it shows your recently read titles and what you're recently working on here. And then you scroll down, you get like the recommended titles. And it's the same thing over here. You got your library and you got the store link, so it's the same theme with every different section here. You got your continue watching, then you got the recommended titles below it, and then the same links over there. So that's just how this new operating system lays out. I do like it a lot better than the old carousel layout that you used to have. You couldn't really do anything with that, and like random apps that appear and disappear on the home screen. So they did get rid of that. You do have this bar up here. You can jump around through the different sections. And then there's also recent section here. So this is kind of like the old carousel, where like all your recent activity, your books and apps opened, your images, everything shows up on here, all your recent activity. You can go ahead and remove stuff by long pressing on here. You can uninstall it or remove it from the home. Then when it comes to this list right here, you can't really remove any of this stuff. All these things right here. So your new items appear right here. Let's go ahead and remove this because it's kind of annoying. Remove from home. And then it normally just looks like this with your apps here on the home section. These are all the pre-installed apps all the way up until Riptide. That's where I started installing apps. These ones are installed from the Amazon store, and these three are installed from the One Mobile Market. So you can install apps from other app stores, because Amazon's app store doesn't have a whole ton of apps, but it does have a good selection, but it doesn't have some things like Dropbox and alternate reading apps like Nook and stuff. So you have to go to a different app store for stuff like that. Okay, so what you can do with these apps is you can rearrange them just by holding and moving them around. So if you didn't want something to appear at the top, you can move it to the bottom. If you didn't want the store link or whatever, you can actually group apps together if you wanted to make a whole like a folder of Amazon apps or whatnot. So then you can just create a folder and drag your items into the folders. When it comes to your installed apps, if you hold down on them, you get the option to uninstall them. You can also uninstall them from the settings menu in the Manage Your App drawer. So that's just sort of how the new layout, the home screen works. You can't really do as many customizations as you can like with a regular Android tablet, and there aren't any kind of widgets or anything like that. But if you really did want some a traditional Android home screen, you can install different launchers. So I installed Nova Launcher here. You got the regular kind of app drawer that you can move stuff and organize onto your home screens however you want. The only downside though is you can't set it to your home button. Anytime you ever use the home button, it's going to take you back to this home. So like you'd have to put the app up there so for quick easy access if you wanted to use an alternate home screen, because it won't set as the default. Alright, so let's move over to these other sections, talk about some of the Kindle features for ebooks. You got the basic same sort of setup as you're going to have on any Kindle Fire tablet. You tap here, we get the different font choices. Bookerly is the new default. We've got these on the list here. Options, we've got different color options if you wanted like a green background. We've got the Goodreads integration up there. You can adjust the line spacing and margins, and the brightness, it just uses the system brightness. What's that button? Oh yeah, that's your notebook. You can go ahead and access your notes and highlights from right there. And then a couple of the other advanced reading features. Got WordWise, which adds some simple definitions to the words. You can go ahead and adjust how many hints you want, as you can see right there. So that's just kind of a feature for those learning the language or some kids learning to read. We've also got the word runner. It flashes a word in the center of the screen. I'm going to show that in a separate review to talk about it more. Got the X-ray features. So let's talk about the audiobook tie-in. You can go ahead and use the audiobooks if you have them downloaded with this to sync back and forth with the ebook.
I see things going as I think.
This tablet, I forgot to mention it earlier, it has two speakers on the top, on the edge right here.
And that's all.
So they project out quite well. They don't get muffled easily. They got good sound as far as the volume is concerned.
Well, gentlemen, continued the captain, I don't know who has this map.
You can also use text-to-speech. If you don't have the audiobook downloaded, it'll play text-to-speech, but I don't have any way to do that right now because the audiobook's downloaded. So you got the usual Kindle features. Hold down on a word, you get the notes, highlights, the dictionary lookup. It's also got the Wikipedia entry down here. You can get translations. The way that works is you just type in, select a different language, get the translation. The Wikipedia entry, you can just launch the web browser by tapping that. Got the dictionary, and the WordWise also pops up right there, so you can get some alternate meanings as well. Alright, so you can load in your own videos. Of course, it ties in well with the whole Amazon video services. You can download videos, and now that it supports the SD card, you can even have the videos on the SD card, which is nice. I did notice reading the manual that the SD card does not support audiobooks, so you can't move audiobooks or ebooks to the SD card, which is kind of interesting. Just something to keep in mind, because audiobooks can be quite large, obviously. So the screen looks really good when it comes to like video games and movies. Everything's nice and bright and clear. It's got good strong viewing angles, so there's definitely some good things to be said about the screen. It doesn't have the highest resolution, but other than that, it does look quite good. So comics illustrate what I'm saying about the screen very well. So this comic, it looks fantastic as far as the colors are concerned. Very bright, very detailed, but when you have it in portrait mode like this, the text is actually not really that comfortable to read. It's kind of pixelated, a little bit too small, just the way it scales on the screen. So I mean, in landscape mode, it actually looks quite good when you have it scrolled in to the sides here to fit to width. The text actually looks quite good. It's actually quite easy to read that way, but when you do have it in the portrait mode, you do notice that the pixelization more because of the low resolution screen, but it is still readable, just not quite as nice as some of the other tablets out there as far as the high res screens go. I use this app to test out the touchscreen. It actually seems to work good. I don't have any issues with the touchscreen. I was reading some reports online of people having some issues, but my touchscreen is like 100% good, like everywhere. It always responds well. I don't have any issues with it not having any responsiveness.
They all share the same goal.
So here's a sample of a YouTube video playing. So yeah, YouTube videos work well. If you load the, it'll load the mobile site by default, and the video quality won't be as high. So if you go over here and request the desktop site, you'll get the higher quality video. So they'll play either way. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video right here. Check out the ebookreader.com for some additional information. I post how-to guides and like free ebooks deals, so check that out if you want some additional information. Thank you guys for watching.